but your edits are so sick.
Are they?
Yeah, they're so good.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Honestly, I'm like, how do people come up with this stuff? It's so
Oh
cool.
no, you just do it and then you just start to, I guess, find your flow. But
Have you always had like a thing for editing and like content creating? Well, it's not content creating, but
yeah, yeah. I like making things. Um, like if I wasn't an athlete, I probably would have gone the creative route.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Do you
Huh.
are you into that stuff or not really?
No, I like it, but I'm not good at it.
That's okay.
I got to a point where like I used to have to like when I edited reels and stuff, it had to be like to the beat of the music.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't care. I just post anything and everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, no,
it's
no.
too much
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's too much. It's okay. You're good at
Yeah.
what you do. Yeah, no, thank you. Sorry about yesterday.
No, that's not your fault. Oh my gosh, it was a shambles. I'm glad we have come to this point where we're here now.
Yes.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. So I'll uh kind of start from the beginning if that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we talked about how um like at least I view it as being a young athlete or being a young person can be quite difficult and more than we realize at the time because we don't know ourselves.
yeah,
And navigating life and your career and sport or whatever becomes a lot easier and
yeah,
simpler when you know yourself,
yeah,
know your values and stuff like that. And you were saying how you're very culture driven. So that's you knowing yourself, and I just kind of wanted to see what that meant to you and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, we spoke a little bit on it, and with how the conversation went yesterday, it was scattered. But no, I think for me, it's when I say like I'm driven by culture, it's because I think like culture. I believe culture shapes me and reminds me of who I am and where I come from. And as someone from New Zealand, and also a small town, um, those things kind of they drive me in a sense, and it's always really important to kind of come back to your roots and know where you're from. um, I think, yeah, when we talk about like knowing yourself, for me it's that it's going back to knowing where I'm from, knowing, like you said, my values. And I think like I think too about purpose, but I still kind of trying to find what the purpose is that I'm trying to do in, say, in sport and stuff like that. Because through my 8 years of sevens, I still didn't really know. Like, I'm like, I want to be the best version of myself, but I'm like, what is that? What does that look like? Because every time that, say, I reached a pinnacle event, I'm like, that wasn't good enough for me.
Mm.
So um, it was more of like I guess it was coming out of that space and transitioning into a new journey. That has been something that I've been trying to focus on. Is like, okay, so you say you want to be the best player, but what does that actually look like, and how do you measure that? And when something does happen, so say I play every game or whatever, and I'm playing really well. How do I stay, I guess, positive in that? No, you're good. Um, yeah, like how do I stay true to what it is I'm trying to achieve, which is that, and really embrace, I think, what I said I was going to do. But yeah, sorry, going back to that, the culture piece, I think, as cliche as it sounds, it's like every time I do step onto the field and stuff like that, I'm not just playing for me. I I think I always that I'm carrying my people, my whānau, my family, and the culture piece gives me that anchor, and I just think it just keeps me grounded. And yeah, I think we talk a lot about our ancestors as well, and that's something that I draw upon in those times, like before games and stuff like that. It kind of just brings me back to who's been before me, um, and I guess the path that I'm trying to lay out for those that are coming as well. Yeah, I just went really rogue there again.
No, you didn't. You didn't. No, no. I think what you say is important. Because I think a lot of people feel that way, and I thought it was really interesting how even yesterday you mentioned how when you went to a new country to play a new sport, um, how you realized a bit of the culture difference and how that was an
Yeah,
adjustment because
yeah,
where you're from, it's the collective comes together to reach one goal, whereas the new environment that you're in, it's almost as if they had to make it on their own. And so they're not used to it's a little bit maybe more independent. Maybe I don't know if that's the full word to use.
yeah.
Um
Um, yeah, I think it's just different. Like, there's obviously a goal that is to we want to come together as one for a common purpose, which I think here it's ultimately it's to win. Well, I guess in any sports team, um, and it was more just a like, and it's been acknowledged to me, which is kind of cool. It was kind of like they acknowledge that there isn't they don't really have too much to draw upon in these times. Like when we share our stories on what culture means to us and how it shapes us and all that kind of stuff, they're kind of like, I wish I had that. So for us, it was like I said, it was different and it was a shock, but it's really cool to kind of be able to share what it means to us and then also understand what they need and what they don't need to kind of to get through the season. Like I'm like, I need connection. I need people where someone like, yeah, I do need like I'd like to connect with them, but ultimately I'm here to play some footy. Yeah, I'm here to make connections, but probably not on a deeper a level as a level than you are to what I guess draws you into what this means. But yeah, so it was different. But I think the cool thing is I've been able to share, like, and I have people here that are Māori, so there's a good core group of us here that are Māori that are all willing to embrace and share our culture with the team as well. Um, and it's not just Māori too, like we have our Samoan sisters, our Tongan sisters here that are all kind of leaning into their cultural sides and sharing that, and we're starting to really bring it in together, which has been really, really cool. So yeah, I think for me, it was different and it was a shock. But just even speaking to you yesterday and having a think about it, instead of feeling kind of lost and disconnected from it, but leaned more into it and showing how we can share it. Which is that's probably like these conversations have been really helpful because it's just probably changing perspective on it. So like I'm over here, moved away from my culture. It's a culture shock here. Like that was probably me last year. Like, it's different, but now it's kind of changing my perspective on it, being like, yeah, it's different, but how can you embrace it more while you're over here, and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, that's sick. No, I love that. And it's kind of it's interesting, like, and how I've mentioned a few times before, but if you're someone on a mission, you don't think about the next steps. You just think, here's my opportunity, I'm going to it.
Yeah.
And then you go where the opportunity is and you kind of get hit with the realities like culture shock, whatever, whatever, whatever. And that adjustment period is tough. And I'm really proud of you, actually, because even myself, moving in university, probably because I was younger, like like a teenager, didn't really have that perspective. And
Yeah.
so I think how you approach it with gratitude, like you took your shock and your confusion and your like frustrations and stuff, but you kind of turned it into a gratitude and you converted the energy basically. And I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like the way that you put that. See, you're my articulator.
I'm there, bro. I'm there. I'm just looking at reviewing the question. Okay. Because I switched sports.
Yeah.
So you switched from sevens to rugby league. So you're kind of almost, you're not, but you are starting from zero. So
Yeah,
what's that like? The having to start from zero again, especially you're already established, and then you gotta drop back down.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So we had our season launch yesterday, and before I did, and we had a panel. We jumped up on a panel, and I kind of got asked that question, like, what was it like? Because I come in 4 rounds in, so into round 4 of the season, hadn't had any preseason, and so like they just said like what was that like, and I was trying to frame it in a way. I was just kind of like, but it honestly felt like I was like a person coming late to a party where like turn up to the party. I was like, but in the sense that I was full of energy. People had gone through all this preseason and connected, so felt a little bit like disconnected, but wanted to get in there, and um, but also like come in with like a headless chicken. Like I'm just so excited that everything kind of went into just. I think I just went into like overdrive, or not overdrive. I don't even know what the thing is, but went in a sense that I've got kind of nothing to lose, which is the way that I kind of went about it.
Okay.
Hello. But yeah, like how I kind of explain it is that I just got chucked in there and without like any prep or anything like that. And so the best way to learn for me was just kind of going in straight into it straight away. Got chucked in the deep end, but I think that was the best way for me to learn. And for me, I think I always like challenge. I think I spoke about this yesterday, but I always like challenge. So I always try and put myself in different environments. And for me, this was probably the perfect example. Like, didn't know the sport, had never lived in Australia, or moved away. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Lost my train of thought.
But you like the challenge.
I'm in the worst place.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, you like the challenge and how like you moved to Australia. You kind of got chucked in there.
Yeah, I think. Well, like, yeah. So I'll start again. It was, I'd say, because I didn't really get the prep or anything. I did feel a little bit undercooked. Obviously, going into a new sport, not knowing, starting from scratch, like it was humbling, but at the same time, those are the type of things that I kind of I like feed off, is chucking myself into uncomfortable positions, as cliche as that sounds. So getting put into a team that I'd never been in before in Australia, and then also playing a sport that I'd never played before. I think you go, like you said, you go from being an experienced player to just learning a game. But I loved that piece. And then I don't know. I think like those are the times where I feel like I thrive, is in new environments, because it just allows me to just really, I don't know, kind of tell a new story about myself, or not a new story, but let people know who I am, and there's no preconceived judgments on who I am.
Yeah.
You kind of go in, and you just show who you are then and there. And that was something that I walked into last season. It was pretty cool, because straight off the cuff, my first week, my second day there, I think we had a big team chat, and everyone was kind of checking out what was going on in the team, and I had no idea, obviously, because I'd just come in that week. Didn't even know that there was stuff happening in the team, but I kind of come in and I just said, oh, this is who I am. If you don't like it, like, I like to hype people up in warm-ups. I like to be the energy. And if you don't like it, just say to me, like, can you shut the mic up? Or can you shut up? And I'm sweet with that. So right from the get-go, I got to kind of let them know who I was from the start, which made that easier, I guess, on the transition going into a new team. And then also the other side of it, like the actual league, was the hardest part. The connecting, the getting to know the girls and the convos and stuff like that was the easy, the easy part for me. It was learning how to play league because I'm still learning, and I'm like a whole preseason and coming into round one next season, next week, and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, but going back to the question again.
No, it's okay. What's it like starting from like your experience starting from zero? No, you said a few things that I could pull from and I really resonate with. Like the fact that you like to challenge, like oh, I don't know. That's kind of like the beauty of being an athlete and why I chose this life is you can chat like you're forced to challenge, but you meet people that you can never meet and doing anything else, and I don't know, just very it feels very profound at times, and it's very difficult to explain. Also, you said, what else did you say? Challenge and oh, there's one more thing. Mm, I forgot, but that's okay. Yeah, I remember when I watch it back. No, but that's sick. Yeah, because I was wondering because I switched sports, and so when you're playing a new sport, like you spent 8 years in your case playing sevens, so you have these habits drilled into you hundreds of times, and you probably would get in trouble and would get critiqued if you didn't do these things. And but now you're in a new space, a new environment, and maybe those things might not be appropriate.
Yeah.
And then now, oh man, like this was drilled into me for 8 years, and now I have to adjust this thing that I trained 8 years for, which I found difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of that. Like, I think too, because I went from wing into centre, and then sevens, I'm halfback first five. So from 8 years of, I mean, I was really a distributor type player. Like, I was more of a distributor, and so my first instincts probably wasn't to run.
Yeah.
And then getting shifted into my first season here at nights, going into wing, I'm like, first of all, I'm not fast. Secondly, I don't have the mindset of a winger, so the transferring into that kind of stuff was hard for me. And then this season going into centre, so it is trying to really channel and get out of the mindset of just the distributing factor or like and stuff like that, because it is a totally new game, and you like here I feel like you can't get away with just being, say, soft or just kind of going through the motions in this game, because you'll get found out pretty quick. Which has been a cool learning also. Like, I'm like, it's pretty, because I know that I have it in me. It's just actually trying to find it and channel it.
It's cool how you say like different positions have different mindsets.
Yeah, well, probably should have, but that's me. And what I've been doing for so many years, I've finally seen myself as this distributing player where people have said to me, like, run, like, look up first, run, kind of thing. So it's more of a mindset thing where like I said, I know that I have had it in me. I just haven't probably done it.
But also, I find it tricky because I'm sure there were times or opportunities where you could have just looked up and like went for it, but then at the same time it's like, what if you're trying to coach me into something that I'm not? And then what if we optimize what I am and made that dangerous and lethal? So I think of that all the time. I'm like, because coaches teach what they experience and what they're taught. But then I don't know. It's just like, okay, so I have this one teammate, not to go on a tangent, but I had this one teammate, and she's a lock, and she's tall, she's like, physically she has all the attributes you want in a lock, right? She's such a sweet girl, very very sweet girl. So her feedback is always be aggressive, be aggressive. But I'm like, she can be a dominant player, right? But maybe telling her to be aggressive is not the way to get that dominance out of her.
Yeah, that is a great perspective on it.
But I don't know. That's what I like. And for example, there's another law. She's very very happy and like she can ball out. Like she can really ball out. But telling her also to be mean, she can't channel that. Like that doesn't make her play better. Now she's just trying to play like something she's not.
Yeah.
And if having fun means that you're gonna ball out, then why don't you coach her to have the most fun?
Yeah.
You know?
Because it would, well, it should kind of lead into that. You know, that time will come.
Yeah, it'll naturally come. Because I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm not a coach, but I'm assuming like at the end of the day, you just want execution, right? And so you're gonna get execution in different ways. It's not gonna be the same style with everyone, especially nowadays. Like the sport is changing, the culture is changing. Like it's not like back then where it's like everyone is by the book, you know. So yeah, that's just a thought that I have. And when you said, oh, look up, so I'm like, I don't know, maybe you're really really dangerous just the way you are. No one just really.
No, that's cool. I actually really like that. Like if you can empower them to be great, like it's pretty cliche, like, empower them to be great at what they're good at, like really really drill into that kind of stuff. And that is something that is actually driven here. Like our coach now, he's pretty good at that. Like work on your work-ons, but we want you to be better at what you're good at, which is cool. But I think too sometimes it's like a little bit of a New Zealand thing where we kind of pull back on. We're like, so am I good at that kind of thing? Like the afraid to admit or even acknowledge it. That piece of it. But I like that. I like what you're talking about.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm in a phase of my life where it's just like I don't want to be controlled by the opinions of others, even if I really respect you. Because at the end of the day, when I'm 60, I'm going to be the one who regrets my career, you know?
Yeah,
not the coach, not my family. Yeah. You know, and I'm 26. And so the next Rugby World Cup is 2029. I'm going to be 30. And I don't know how far I'm going to, you know, like I don't know if I have 2 World Cups in me, to be quite frank. So if I'm going to look at it like I have 4 years left, it's like I'm a grade 9, like it's like I'm in first year high school and I have 4 years until I graduate. So how do I want to optimize my last 4 years in my career?
Yeah.
And so I just don't want to be pushed around, and I want to collaborate, and I want to respect other people's opinions and experience, of course. Like I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything, but I don't want to be controlled. There's a difference.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So I think I'm figuring that out myself, and like you're obviously a great player. So and it's not always helpful just to say trust yourself or have confidence. It's like, well, how? You know?
Yeah.
And also like coaches, they say they also say like, oh, be the best you or just be you, but then it's like, well, what am I actually good at?
Yeah.
You know?
Goes back to like the really understanding those things are like you have to really understand who you are in that sense, and all of that stuff is like we said, it's cliche, like as it sounds, but you need to go down and write that shit down. Like note down what it is. I'm good at this. This is I'm really good at this, and actually train it and believe it. But that's so true.
Yeah, no, 100%. Knowing yourself makes life easier. And it's crazy. But then it's like, because we're young, so we have to live life until we get to that point, you know?
Yeah, you have to experience. Like, you can't just, no, well, some probably do, but
yeah,
you do. You got to go through experiences and everything before you kind of, you do realize.
Yeah.
Like, you can come to a realization. But yeah, I like that saying, like, the sport is just a vehicle, and for me knowing who I am, and that's the power. But that's what I think it's never ending. It's an always evolving challenge. Stuff like you said, it always just something comes up. How do you navigate that? So it's the experiences and all that kind of stuff that allow you to then, I guess, start navigating that space. Yeah.
I love being an athlete. It's so sick. I don't know, you can just do life in so many different ways, you know? Yeah.
I really like what you said though about that, like in 4 years, or like come to the end of your time, you're the one that's going to be reflecting what could have, would have, should have been, and that's all because, like, if you don't, because I think like we talk about controlling the controllables and all that kind of stuff, and what, say, external or coaches or whatever say about your what coaches and stuff say about your however you're playing and how that affects you, and all that kind of stuff. Like that's where I feel like the difference is the messages you get and what you do with them is that's probably the part what you just kind of spoke about then, like how do you shape your journey to the way that you want it to be, even though there's going to be outside opinions and or feedback and stuff like that that you might not like. It's kind of just how you reframe those messages and put it in a way that it really helps you. There's so much to think about. I like what you said there.
No, there's so much. Like it goes so like it's like, and because there's so many layers. It's not just sport; it's life, and it's growing, and then it just gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah,
like it just keeps
really
going.
Does.
Yeah.
Enough, but it is.
Hold on, I'm just reading the. Oh yeah. I remember when we were talking a couple days ago. I don't know, I could be wrong, but you were kind of like going through your story and how you said for 15s, I think it was 15s, you said you only had 2 caps. I heard only. Like that word really stuck out to me because like as a player who's also been like doing sport for a really long time, I felt like there was more weight to that. Maybe something because you only said only. You didn't just say like, oh yeah, I had a couple caps with the Black Ferns, did this. So it kind of made me wonder, is there a little bit of like dissatisfaction? Not necessarily with that. No. Not necessarily with that, but like in general, or sorry, go ahead.
With 15s or no?
I don't know, just like yeah, you just like I'm curious, maybe in your career with yourself at the time, or
dissatisfaction. I don't even know. Like, sorry.
Okay.
No, I don't know if it was. I actually was okay with it. Like, okay. But it was just like a small stint in my life that I was kind of like, oh, it's probably not something that I want to continue. So like when I say only, it's probably just like because it was only 2 kids, like but it was heat. It was cool. I loved it.
Oh. Okay.
But the best thing I think about that for me was I got to play alongside one of my best mates, and we hadn't really it was only school that we had played together. So when I did go through that and I played my 2 caps, and kind of after it I was kind of like, I don't think I really want it. Like 15s isn't probably something I want to pursue. So that's probably where the only bit comes in. Like it was obviously really cool, but also I just don't think I had the same aspirations as some of those other girls that are in there who are really gunning to try and make that. And that's probably why I was kind of pull back about it a little bit, is because I see girls in there that are like they're gunning to try and make that team. It's something that they really want to do it. I didn't want to be someone that was there, like in the team when I'm like, this probably isn't something that it doesn't drive me like what it drives them. So that's kind of when I knew I probably, I'm going to step away from this. And also going into my last 15 season, I did have a bit of a slow start to the season just because coming back from injury and stuff like that. And with that season being real short, it was kind of hard to get into. But yeah, I think my time, like I'm probably pretty happy with my time that I've had in 15s now, and I probably wouldn't go back there unless it's club footy back home. Yeah, but I think there was just more so, the drive wasn't there for 15s. That's probably where that kind of come from.
Okay, yeah, it's not your self-expression.
Sorry, what was that?
No, it's okay. It's probably not your self-expression.
What do you mean by that?
Yourself, like, I feel like, do you notice certain type of people play certain types of sports? And there's sort of like, and certain type of positions, certain type of personalities.
Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah,
it's their way of expressing themselves. That's probably why they play certain positions or they act similarly. And so maybe 15s just wasn't particularly your mode of, you know.
Well, I loved the Chiefs Manawa season. So the 23 Chiefs Manawa season was one of my favorite rugby seasons to date. And I played, like, I thought I grew so much in the 15s game, and I played my best 15s that I'd ever played before, which then led into my Black Ferns thing. And maybe because coming off the back of a real high season and then coming in where I'm coming off the bench, and it was like a bit like, a bit slow. It slowed back down again. Was probably part of it as well. Like I'm like coming off this massive high of playing and going into Black Ferns camp and everything. I was having fun. It was like all good. I was fine in there. It was just when we got to the plane, I was just kind of like, this was it kind of thing. I'm like, that's it for me. And I'm like, no, I had my fun in there kind of.
Yeah.
Like I had my stint on 15s. That was cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of into chill again. So that's it was a bit different, I guess. It's just different. And I don't even know.
That's okay. But you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go.
No, you don't even know, but you know enough to redirect yourself.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most important thing at this moment. No, and it's cool. It kind of also reminds me of, like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
Yeah.
You know, like, you gotta pick and choose, I think, especially depending on the stage of your life, you know?
Yeah. And that was this season, coming off the back of Chiefs Manawa this season, I had already signed my contract over here fully. And the girls just saying, like, are you going to go for Black Ferns? Like, there's World Cup this year. Your position's so open. Like, are you going to go for it? Like, you should go for it. And I'm like sitting there like, and I'm also someone that when people say you should do something, I don't do it. So first of all, that's where they went wrong. Secondly, it was kind of like, it was more like it's not something. I'm like, I'm not as passionate about that anymore. And I don't know, maybe just my time with New Zealand rugby in general, like 8 years I've been in there, and I'm kind of like, nah, I know I'm going to stay here and it'll be the same story where I'm not happy. And so that's when I just knew I needed to change. So once I kind of set my mind to something, I do tend to go for it.
Yeah. And then you don't want to do something like for the wrong reasons or because they don't align with you, and that might just stack on top of the unhappiness. So no, that's very self-aware, I think. Very self-aware, I think. You know yourself. That's why you're good. No, I'm serious. That's why you're good at what you do, you know? Like, everyone's always, you know, like, everyone, because I played with Portia, right? Because she came to Japan. And everyone's so funny. Everyone's like, what's it like playing with Portia? What's it like playing with Portia? She's sick, so I get it, you know? But I think more than the on-field stuff, I think the fact that whenever we would talk, she seemed to know what she was good at, like her strengths. She's like, I'm this type, I'm not this type. So I'm gonna lean into this, and I'm not gonna try to do all of this. And she just capitalized on what she was good at. And if she wasn't confident at something, she will straight up say like that I'm not that. Like, and so don't view me as that. Like, I'll try it, but like,
that's taken. That for her, that's pretty big because she had been someone that had always kind of been in her shell, like obviously the most amazingest player, but had never truly believed in her strengths that she possessed. And it's only like these last few years where she's fully acknowledged those things, which is cool. But yeah, I hear what you mean, like the exact same.
Yeah.
If you tell me to do something, I'm going to try it. Might not be good at it, or like it might be a struggle, but I'll tell you.
Yeah. That's interesting. No, that's cool. And I mean, like the whole world respects you guys, especially in the rugby community, and that's why I had to come to Auckland. Like I had to, not saying Auckland is I know there's like
you should have went to Vickers,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Right.
but like and all the New Zealanders that came to Japan that I've played with, very kind and humble. But once they and you guys are like relaxed, but then once you hit the field, it's boom, like the switch. And I just wanted to see what that was. What is that? Even the girls, even at practice over here, like at college rifles, it's always laughing, but then there's a switch, boom, and they just turn up, and it's a completely different energy. Whereas I guess in Japan it's different. It's preparation.
Yeah, everything's quite drilled in to be structured.
Yeah. So
I'm probably the opposite of everyone though. Like I'm a muck around person. Like I can be serious and I can get shit done, but I can muck around while being serious. So I'm pretty a bad example of that because if people find it hard to concentrate, because I can't concentrate. I've got a really short attention span, but you can't be by me otherwise. You're around.
Fair enough. You're that kid in the class.
Yeah, if you can't like switch like straight off, like then you can't be by me.
That's so funny.
Or you need to just be someone that's like shut the fuck up. Like,
just tell you when to when.
Just shut up. I can't.
Or you kill me. That's like me in grade 1. Damn. But no, that's like me in like grade 1. In grade 2, I was just talking to my buddy about that yesterday. I'm like, nah, I wasn't a troublemaker. He's like, yeah, well, you didn't listen, and you would distract all the other kids, so that's why teachers didn't like you. I'm like, oh yeah.
Is that self-awareness piece?
Yeah. So I'm like, I guess school was a different purpose for me, but but yeah, no, those are that's what I wrote down, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you. Honestly, I feel like I've got a lot out of this conversation.
Me too. Sometimes, you need to talk things out to like form a thought. I feel like.
Yeah, and get someone that can articulate what you're trying to say for you. Give me a pat on the back for that. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm super happy. Like it's super chill. I'm very happy. Like I think to have met you, that's be like 30 or whatever. But
that's cool. How good is this though? Like how random.
Yeah.
That because this is what I've actually been like. I've been meaning to catch up with my psych from home, our sports psych that was our 7th psych, because I still got a good relationship with her. But even the ones here, so and just it's more so just to talk over these like just things that I want to talk about. That I just want to continue to grow because I haven't really spoke on stuff that say that I was learning or that I was going through back home to kind of just revisit again because I just felt like I feel like I need firstly the one that I was speaking to back home just to kind of go over it all again so that I can transition over here to the ones here, and it's more so that they're just aware of things, and kind of have an understanding of what I'm trying to build here. So it's been really nice. That was nice to have this conversation and just, like I said, revisit everything, because sometimes I do lose sight of it.
Don't worry, you're not the only one. We all do. It's all good. It's all good. Wait,
Yeah.
you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
27.
I thought you're not by your face, okay?
What?
Not by your face, okay? I thought
What?
you were
How
like, maybe
old do you think I was?
like 32. Not by your face, okay? Don't get offended. Cause you're like, you guys are like kind of wholesome, you know?
I love it.
You guys are wholesome, so it feels like big sister vibe, you know? You know what I mean?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I actually love it.
Yeah. Wait, so you're in 90? Tell me.
97, baby.
Oh, that's cool.
You're 90, 95, 98, 99.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
6.
Oh, you just turned 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned 20. I turned 28 at the end of the year in December.
Why did I know that? You give me December vibes.
Sedging. I'm a sedging girl.
Are you? Oh, okay. No, I don't know much about that stuff. I don't know. I'm just like December.
Nah, neither do I, but some people do, and I'm just like,
thanks, man.
just check it out.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. And then I'll like cut everything up, and then yeah, you're cool with. Oh, I can send you this stuff beforehand if you feel more comfortable.
You just do you, boo.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, sounds good. I'm just gonna end the recording.
Recording stopped.
Okay, cool. Well, have a great day. Keep it.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. I might shoot you text randomly to ask you questions. By the way.
You honestly, my line's always open. You call, you can message, and if I don't message you back straight away, if I don't answer, I'll call you back or message you back.
Yeah, all good. Sounds good. Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu. じゃあね.
Bye.
She's so cool.